rest are is important, and there I did. When I don't,
Even in this bout of recovery, you get to real people, real stories, real recovery. I am Kat, and I'm on the road of recovery.
My name is Patrick. I am from Toledo, and I've been in recovery for the last 4 years.
Well, congratulations. Thanks so much for coming out and joining us. If you could start off by sharing a bit about your childhood.
Growing up, it was hard. I moved around a lot, being in different places and trying to make friends was really difficult for me. And like, I kept finding kept feeling like people were leaving me when I was younger. My parents were divorced when I was young, and I blamed myself for that. And a lot of things with my family, and just be moving around, constantly putting that like abandonment piece, because I always had to like start over fresh or leave people behind.
Absolutely. And are you an only child?
I am not an only child. I have an older brother and 2 younger twin sisters who are amazing.
Okay. So as you went from, the different schools and whatnot, how was school, activities, that type of stuff?
It was really hard. I feel like a lot of my trauma and stuff was instilled in me, and like the negative self-talk that I have dealt with was dealt during those years of being constantly bullied, ridiculed, picked on. I was really small child. So anything that anyone could do. So and then that in turn, I would put that off onto other people, and it was just a whole negative experience. So I did not like I did not like school very much.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So when did you first start experimenting with alcohol or drugs?
I was about 15 years old. I started, me and my friend, I found some people I thought were my friends,
Mm-hmm.
So my way of becoming friends was to become a thief. So I was a very good shoplifter. Mark's grocery stores, I'm sorry. But I stole a lot of liquor from there. So I would go in there, I would look very innocent, because I put that face on whenever I want, put a backpack on, and I would just go in there and fill it. No one would say anything. So we would proceed to drink and then do all that stuff. And I finally felt like I had a group of friends finally.
Right, absolutely. And that piece of acceptance is so vital. It just in human development, and wherever you can get it, that's where you get it. So if you could talk about how your disease progressed.
So from there on, I was mostly drinking. I was drinking a lot after school until I graduated. And then I delved into cocaine for a while. That became very problematic in my life, but very expensive. So I was able to not afford that anymore and get away from it. Going through that whole experience, I was experimenting with every kind of drug there was. There was one time in my life I wanted to try every single drug there was, because I was so fascinated by these things that was taking me out of myself, right? All these different escape experiences. So I was going into psychedelics, benzos, opiates, all that stuff, Percocet, Vicodin, Xanax. Marijuana was always prevalent. After so many years of doing that, I was selling weed to support my habits of wanting to that. And somebody tried to take off without paying me. And I've had this happen before, and I wasn't going to let it happen again. So I held onto the car, and they dragged me down the road, and as I'm like hanging on, trying to like grab the stuff, and they almost kill me, and they turn onto the entrance ramp to the highway, and I see like my whole life flash before my eyes, and so I jump, and I broke my heel. I lost a lot of skin on my butt and my back. It was very, very painful.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. That was. Most people would, think that, okay, this is an eye-opening experience. I didn't see it that way. I was still playing a victim. I didn't see any kind of part I played in that whole situation. But it did do one thing. It got me a prescription for opiates of my own. And that did not do me too well with my addiction. And then things progressed from there, from Percocets until they were out, and then eventually heroin.
Absolutely. So is there an experience that you can share that really paints a picture of what life was like for you in active addiction?
I always go back to this memory when I was in I was homeless.
Okay.
A lot of my mom and everything, she was really good at creating rigid boundaries, which I'm very thankful for now. Like she wouldn't help, I was not given that opportunity to continue living with her once that stuff started. But I was homeless, and I was trying to maintain a job somehow. I had a job and I was homeless, which was weird.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to shower before work, and so I found this shed in Barberton, and I was sleeping on one of those foldable lawn chairs, like the tanning ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a Snuggie and a suitcase to my name. And I remember coming back from work the one day, and my suitcase was gone. All my belongings, everything I had, and so I immediately go and try to steal some stuff to try to get some more money, get some more drugs, and it's like I ended up in jail, and then I get arrested, and it's just like this whole continuum of trying to feed this endless loop. And no matter what how I was feeling, no matter what was going on in my life, drugs took the priority, right? I was not going to leave that house, go to work, no matter what, without putting something in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that. I hated that life. Like, I hated being controlled.
Okay. So what happened then that you decided I got to do something different?
I was at work one day, and I got some stuff, and I overdosed at work.
Oh my.
Somehow I made it from the bathroom to my workstation, or I don't believe I would be here today, because no one ever goes in that bathroom, right? It's a factory bathroom.
Yeah.
No one's going to check on you.
Yeah.
So luckily I fell out and right in front of my machine, and I come to with a police officer, my manager, and he's just like that feeling of disgust from your parents,
Mm-hmm.
like that. Oh, that's the look he gave me, and it was so bad. But in that time, in that minute or so that I was out, I had like an uplifting white light experience, is what I call it, where I don't know what it was. I still think it's like a higher power of sorts said, I am not ready for you yet. I still have things for you to do. And I thought that was, whoa. Because
Yeah.
up until that point, I was a complete atheist. I hated religion. I hated spirituality. But that was like, whoa, what was that? Right. Then from there, I went directly to jail because I already had probation violations and warrants. And it gave me a lot of time to develop my spirituality and develop my relationship with my higher power there. This was in 2016,
Okay.
which was carfentanil. That was what
Yeah.
happened. And in Akron, there was a long wait for treatment.
Mhm.
So I ended up staying in jail for 4.5 months, waiting for a bed at IBH.
Mhm.
And I'm actually kind of grateful for that now, It made me like appreciate it and want it so bad. And when I got there, I was so happy to be there. I was not complaining. I was just like, oh, I can move.
Right.
I can,
As I want.
yeah. And that place really helped me and changed my life. I immediately got active. I got a sponsor, and I started working 12 steps, and I was really doing really good. I went into sober living. I wanted to start working in recovery, and I did. And I was doing really good. But I stopped putting my priorities first. I started putting everyone else before myself, and I let myself go to the back burner, and I didn't take care of myself. One of the things that I was still struggling with when I was in that recovery that time was like my self-esteem, how I viewed myself. I still hated myself on the inside. Like I was still working on trying to accept myself fully for who I am and for all that trauma that I was dealt with when I was younger. Like I had to fully release that if I wanted to be free.
Mhm.
So going through that, about 4 years comes up. I deal with a really hard breakup. It was challenging. I went right back to drugs and alcohol. I tried methamphetamines for the first time in my life because I was afraid to go back to opiates at that
Yes.
point. So I did that. That lasted about a year, and it took me down a really dark path. And I lost everything I gained over like the next 90 days. Was gone from the past 4 years, right?
Wow.
So everything
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
accomplished and built, my car was totaled. I was homeless again. Like all that was so quick to come back,
Yes.
and it was so challenging. But luckily, somebody I was using with actually came to my house from Toledo. They were in treatment. They left treatment to come use with me. I didn't know this at the time.
Mhm.
She overdosed. I brought her back to life. And then she went back to treatment. About a week later, she miraculously convinced me to come out there. And the only reason I did that was because I was so afraid. I had so much shame and guilt, right? Because I had this false narrative in my head about who I was and what this fake ego. It was just awful. But I'm so glad I did that now. Like God has this weird way of working in my life where he puts me where I need to be. And like now that I've been in Toledo for a while, like I've been able to experience so much more and help people and like teach the things that I learned in Akron to people out here and vice versa, right?
Right.
The place I went to was not a 12-step based place.
Okay.
It was more based on fitness and like holistic living.
Okay.
And it was a whole new avenue to me because even though I've worked in peer recovery and heard about other avenues of recovery, I didn't really see anything. This was a whole system based on like living a good, healthy life. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I believe in a lot of this stuff. And that they took me on this journey of self-acceptance and self-esteem that really has built me and turned my life and made me a confident, like I can believe in myself now and doing a lot of things. Like I ran a marathon.
Wow.
I couldn't even run a mile in high school. Like I was never very athletic, but like I was challenged to do these things and I've done them to prove to myself. And it's been such an amazing journey.
Absolutely.
Because now I can incorporate like that kind of stuff with the 12-step stuff.
Right.
And put it all together. And it's just like,
and that really is that holistic approach. I mean, so much of the 12-step programs are that spiritual component and whatnot. And if you just have that or just have this, oftentimes it falls short for people. So the fact that you were able to take both of those and marry it together for what you need and really, I mean, that's genuinely that holistic approach of, recovery. So can you talk about like the things that you discovered in that first year that were really impactful, or the skills that you adopted that were helpful?
I try not to put myself down on purpose. One of the other things is I really wanted to become not codependent anymore.
Yes.
Because one of my big things was freedom, right? I don't want to be reliant on other people, other things, or anything like that. So I wanted to break free of my dependence of other people, and that's been a whole wonderful journey with me, like me and my higher power that I have. And I've gone on these trips by myself out of state, and gone on my own and like an addiction. I just said this the other day to somebody, like I was so focused on the drugs and like I never even left the room. Like I was using the bathroom in my room. It was that bad. Like I was so afraid of people and scared. And now I get to go into these most amazing places, right? And it's only beginning.
Absolutely.
These are the beginner trips.
Right. Absolutely. As you have continued to, work a program and maintain sobriety, what are those kind of key factors that are important kind of on a daily basis, on a weekly basis that you're doing? If you could break those down.
So for me, every day, I like to work out. So I usually work out about 4 to 5 days a week. I continue with that every day almost. If I'm not lifting weights, I'm running. Then I eat healthy. I think that helps a lot, and it's a very underappreciated aspect of this. Because that's how I feel on a day. Like what we eat fuels us. But I also try to go to a meeting or two a week. And I try to stay pretty active in that. So by doing something there, right? Having a part in the home group, having some kind of role or job to do. I always love signing papers. I always love putting away chairs. That's never going to change.
Yep.
And I always, regardless of where I'm at, what meeting, if I've never been there, I'm going to try to offer to help in some shape or form.
So you've accomplished so much, over in this short period of time, and really like put your life together. You have experiences. It turns your entire life around. What goals, hopes do you have for the future? Plans for the future?
So I just finished my associate's degree.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Took 6 years.
Yeah.
But hey, we did it.
Yes.
So I was able to obtain my LCDC.
Very cool.
Which is the first step in my 5-year plan. I'm in school right now at University of Toledo for my social work. Got 2 more years. And then I'm going to go above and beyond and get an independent license
Mhm.
because I don't want to have to listen to people the rest of my life.
Yes.
But other than like that, those are like career goals.
Mhm.
I want to explore. I want to see things. I want to be able to live life today. Like your national park goal you were talking about earlier. I want to see all the national parks. I even have a state park goal. I'm trying to get all the state parks in Ohio. I think there's 126.
Wow.
Yeah. So doing all that on a budget.
Yes. Yep.
So I love doing that, like, and just getting to experience life today, right?
Mhm.
That's what I really look forward to. Is like, wow, this is
Right.
an experience.
Yes. And that's what I agree with you. I think that's what life's all about is the experiences, not the things so much, but the experiences that we get to have by ourselves, with others. That's the good stuff. So we all have ups and downs in our lives. What would you say is kind of your mantra or the saying that you lean into when you're having a bit of a tough go of it?
My favorite phrase is "let people be people,"
Oh, okay.
because people are going to hurt you, people are going to harm you, people are going to be rude to you, people are going to be nasty to you. That's just people.
Mhm.
You never know what they're going through. You never know what they're dealing with. My favorite thing, one of the books I read in jail, it was How to Not Sweat the Small Stuff.
Yeah.
I forget what the guy's name is, but it's like when someone's driving and cuts you off in traffic, right? Just pretend they have to poop.
That's a great one.
Right.
I love it.
And now
Yes.
I don't get mad when people cut me off in traffic if I just have that image. Because
Right.
people have other things that are going on. I'm not the center of the universe. People have problems too. Let people be people. Let them be angry. Let them be upset. These are fine. We're all like that sometimes.
Absolutely. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one yet. So thank you so much for coming out and joining us. This was fantastic. And your story is incredible and showing, that sometimes we get some time and whatnot, that we're just because somebody has time doesn't mean that they're not susceptible to a recurrence of symptoms. But that doesn't mean you have to stay in that active addiction, and being able to find a way is really inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you.